Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hulk empath, and I just like having these little talks and the way I feel about things. And being Hulk, I always feel some kind of way. A lot of times, I'm feeling a lot of kind of ways at the same time. Takes some time to sort stuff out. Because emotions are vibration, and vibrations are red and frequency, and so people don't know themselves. How are they going to tune into themselves to realize, to recognize how they feel in any given moment? And, well, kids don't really know how they feel these days. What I'm coming to find out, you just throw a device in front of their face and let them play. What point do they recognize any feelings? And any feelings they have isn't really directed to anything that they're experiencing, because they're desensitized because of what they see is not, it's not in front of them, so not less and less kids are going out and having, kid freaking experiences. Yeah, a lot of kids are doing kid stuff. They're doing what their parents want them to do, keeping them in soccer and this sport and that sport and, things like that. Maybe that more and more parents are having their kids learn about nature and being outdoors and stuff like that. That's what I'd like to see, is more kids out in nature, I mean, we're of the earth, and I think about how important it is to ground, for adults. Think about how freaking important it is for babies to ground, and how long are babies on this born, usually, without even putting their feet to the earth? How long? If I don't have kids, if I ever had a baby, man, or if I encourage people, freaking put that baby on the earth, put the feet on the earth, let them feel it. And, newborns. Oh, what if it's in the middle of the winter? I'm not saying leave them out there. I'm just like, let them freaking experience the, different of being outside, Just like touch a leaf or something. Just so he's acquainted. Just an introduction. People wait too long to introduce their babies to Mother Nature. Mother Nature was always my primary mom. Yeah, my mom is more like a portal to this earth, and it wasn't her fault. She was under a great deal of stress. She's always done the best that she could, and I commend her for that, because I know a lot of people that freaking have gave up on life a lot, and she always hung in there, and she always had faith, and so hopefully I get my faith from my mom. I know I get my abilities of telekinesis from her. I can balance a lighter on people's hands, and I can because it's the fluid inside. Cooperation is nature's way. It's not anyway, so it's the fluid in me and the fluid in it, and it's and it's kind of neat, and I get it from her. She could do it too. Anyway, I do a video about it January 4th, year ago, coming up 2 days. 2019, I did a video about it. People want to go back and see. Look what I can do! So, babies on earth and grounding. Then they, and then it's like, the way I see it, it's like, parents are so connected to their kids at birth, and they know when they need to eat, because everything's on a cycle, everything's secular, and all grow up, but then they think it's like, once the pattern's done, and they can feed themselves, and, when they get a little bit older, that doesn't change. Everything is in cycles. Time travels in a spiral, and, time ain't even real, but the more kids get out and see how animals work for themselves and interact and things like that, it helps them process in school when they have to go to school. I hated school. School was a nightmare for me. I freaking hated school. Because people would, like, in math, I had a teacher that said, math is a constant. I've always looked for something constant in life, something that I could rely on, because even the sun don't get up at the same time every day. And I was born into such a disarray that I thought in consistency there would be peace. And that didn't come to be true for me. When you grow up in chaos, You know, people are either are more drawn to that vibration or chaos, or they're deterred from it, like me. And I don't want chaos. I want peace. So I've always looked all over the world for peace, and finally I found it within myself. It took a lot of doing. I mean, I tried to calm my vibration with all kinds of ways. Alcohol, marijuana, Mary Jane, cannabis, LSD, mushrooms. Never did hair. I don't like to go fast, so all that stuff I don't like. So, and then I dabbled and then didn't, you know, because we're here to have experiences, and everybody's here just trying to figure it out, you know, figure it out. What a lot of people were told for a long time. See, I'm kind of a historian. See, what I try to do is I like to tell people stories that so if they know about history, then, you know, they say history repeats itself, and it does, because everybody lives in cycles, and you know, people are nostalgic, and they do things out of loyalty, and just, you know, and then they do things out of fear. Just, you know, do it because I said so. I'm the parent and you're the child. That wasn't bullcrap logic in itself, but all that stuff, it's changing, because what people are focusing on is changing. There's people like me always talk about hippy dippy stuff and post up stuff about energy and things like that, and it catches on because it makes sense. And all the other stuff that people have been looking at for years and years and years, it ain't working no more. All the boozy stuff, the opiate epidemic is just out of control. People just trying to escape. They're trying to get their energy level to a peaceful state in a chaotic world, and they can't. And so they're shorting out, just like no different than freaking an electrical circuit. Their capacitors are blowing because they don't know how to absorb that energy that they have, their life force energy. So they're freaking making bad choices, and they're taking everybody around them. And the astrology is talking about how this whole next year is only going to get worse. I mean, yes, life is getting better, and the world is going to get better, and it has the potential to be a very beautiful place, you know, heaven on earth. But it ain't going to do that gracefully. It's not going to do it. It's not going to switch on a dime, and there's not going to be any freaking kind of disruption that comes from it, because, you know, if nations are going to get better, it's going to be because they're going to rise from the ashes, and Australia is a perfect example of that, you know. And heck, lots of anyway, I don't need to get too talky about the freaking condition of the world, the earth. The earth is going to be fine. The earth is always fine, man. She's been around forever. She's the school that spirits go to, and that we're supposed to go to learn just to be good to her and see how much wonderment we could do. But no, there's always egos, and there's always this weird, you know, people confuse energy with power, and then they think that they should and can get it by freaking taking it from other people. And that's just that's not how it works. That's a sickness. You're lying to yourself, you know, because anything from the higher conscience knows that there's enough for everybody. So when there's so many people going without, you know, man, I have the potential to make a lot of freaking money, and my rule is I keep 49% and give 50% away, and you know why? Because I freaking grew up watching movies like Brewster's Million, you know, where he was, just go check it out, Richard Pryor. Anyway, so money ain't nothing to me, you know, because I found joy when I was a little girl. We didn't have it, and we still found joy. So it's not like we needed it, and then we're happy, and then when it went away, everybody was miserable, you know. So I know that joy and happiness can exist without any kind of money, because we never freaking had any, man. But our needs were always met. Yeah. I didn't always get to dress, we didn't, I had hand-me-downs and stuff like that, and they're from my brother, but, I was always a tomboy, so it worked out. Yeah. So, more people are, a lot of kids these days are, that, as long as cell phones have been prevalent, as long as people have just been putting them in their kids' faces to entertain them so they don't have to talk about it, all those kids were growing up, and then they don't know how to deal with their emotions, and then when something happens in life, they don't know how to handle it, and they just, have a meltdown. So, hopefully it's changing. So, history repeating itself. See, I came from Generation X. I was born in 1974, and my parents, I don't know, but I'm going to talk it as more in a general, unless is me, and I'm going to end up on this, is, like in the spirit of history has if you don't know it, it's going to repeat itself. Now, Generation X came from the Vietnam era. A bunch of men going over, they create a military conflict, tell a bunch of people, fight for your country over in another country, and it's just all bullcrap. It doesn't, it's critical thinking isn't even on point. It's dissidence and is insane. So they tell you to defend your country by going over to Vietnam and doing terrible, terrible things, and so psyches, and there are a lot of young kids, 18, 19-year-old kids that were made to do that over Vietnam, and so a lot of kids. This was still when people went to church and stuff like that. So you grow up and you're programmed. You're being told you don't kill people, and then you're sent over to kill people for your country. That has like "In God We Trust," and it's also so confusing. And they go over there and they do things, and then they find, some of them find out that they like doing the stuff that they're doing, and it's, the darkness grows, and then, some people are like, I'm not a killing machine, and their psyches break, and then they come back here, and then they get back into the alcohol and the drug and the escapism, and they get in relationships, and they start doing it, chasing sensations and making babies, and here's Generation X, right? We're a generation from a whole lot of broken people. So from broken comes broken, and then fast, and then so, my generation had babies, and they're like, we're not going to do it the same way. We're going to make sure our kids have it better than we did. So they overcompensated a lot. And then my generation became grandkids, and they overcompensated a lot. So the whole world is overcompensating. Nobody's feeling with their emotions, but everybody has them. And there's this big old huge of eruption that's going on right now. It's all about feelings, all about vibration and frequency. And, when it's just like there's a boiling pot and everybody can feel it. Everybody can feel the boiling pot, and things are about to boil over, and then they'll simmer back down now. So, anyway, if you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. I'm just kind of a spiritual guide. I know we're all just having this human soul sack experience, and we're just trying to get by. I just want to make sure people get by safe and without causing harm to others is all. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.